Hello and welcome to the fourth installment of the ParableCast, your weekly dose of gaming news, gossip, and general discussion. I'm here this week with Greg.
Hello.
And Sonny.
Yo.
And in case you'd somehow managed to forget, I'm Dan. We're going to do a segment this week to start things off that we actually forgot about the last 3 weeks in a row because we're slightly stupid. The idea we're going to do is we were going to introduce things each week by talking about what we've been playing for the past week and whether we enjoyed it, whether it was terrible, just, a general discussion about it. So we were actually going to do it this week, 4 weeks late, and hopefully somebody's been playing some video games. So I'm going to start off being very blunt. Greg, what have you been playing this week?
I've been playing a lot of awesome video games. Two very diverse games I've been playing, actually. I've been playing the fantastic Last Clover Studios game, God Hand.
Yes.
I fucking love God Hand. God Hand is amazing. It's so much fun. It's so broken, and it's all this other crap. And it's technically kind of bad.
It's the best, worst game ever.
Exactly. I'm punching, stuff, and I'm just kicking it all in the face, and then it's amazing. I'm just punching every fucker.
Don't make games like that anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And, I can make my own combos and make all these amazing strings. And I'm punching fat men before doing suplexes and spanking as they fall over. It's a pile of fun, and I actually managed to finish it, which is kind of I feel like I should retire.
You feel like the literal God Hand at this point in time.
Yeah, I feel like I should, retire from video games because I'm the best.
You've played the best. You are the best. There's no point playing anymore. Gregor leaves Parable, 2012.
Exactly.
Yeah. 14th of August.
Confirmed for Brawl. But no, and I started up El Shaddai the other night.
Oh, yeah. El Shaddai's brilliant.
Yeah, it's really lovely. I only played through the first 2 chapters, I believe. First chapter was really cool. I loved the sort of, weird filter. It looked like the whole screen was sort of, iced up.
Yeah, yeah.
It looked like the front of a car in the middle of winter. The second, I loved the visual design of the second stage, with the tower and all that kind of thing. If you played it, Dan. It sounds like you have.
I've kind of played it. I haven't finished it. I'm not very far.
Yeah,
I've never played it, but yeah.
So that kind of bit with the sort of tribal sounds and the singing from the city below, and then you're going towards this big tower with all these eyes, and it's very surreal.
It's a really surreal, beautiful game. It's one of those ones that games like those always fall under the radar, and I don't really know why. Because they're really standout games, to be honest. They have very big flaws, and El Shaddai definitely has some very big flaws, but it's fucking lovely.
We'll have to look that up because I haven't heard that before, and that sounds really interesting.
It's called. I think the full title is Ascension of the Metatron or something.
Yeah,
I think I might have heard of it. Yeah,
the Metatron. It's about a tenner online nowadays. I got mine for £8 a couple of months ago on some mega deal on a Monday at Zavi. So I was like, "Yo, I'm having that."
It's a genuinely great game because if anyone out there doesn't know, which quoting Nofi last week, that's pretty much everyone. Me and Greg are big fans of games that are particularly flawed in this particular way, but are very special in other ways. For example, Dragon's Dogma and stuff like that. We absolutely love games like that. And El Shaddai is definitely one of those games. It's something special, but it's very flawed in a few other ways.
A lot of the sort of, especially the chapter 2, kind of had a pretty background to some basic platforming, but it's fun and it's worthwhile, and everyone should definitely check out for the price it goes for now.
Yeah, I'd definitely say so. So, Sonny, what have you been playing this week?
Well, I've mostly been playing, you've probably seen my article on the site, I've mostly been playing the action RPG sort of MMO Path of Exile, which is still currently in beta. And I used to play games like it when I was much younger. I used to be a big fan of games like Diablo 2, and that's the biggest comparison I can draw to it. But
it does look very Diablo-esque. I mean, even the GUI looks...
It's exactly the same.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it's basically a rip-off, but it's basically a rip-off.
Sort of, but it's a lot more in-depth than that. I played the game for the first 10 minutes, and I thought, this is just a Diablo rip-off, this isn't very good. But as I delve deeper into the game, there's much more detail in it than meets the eye, because, you know how, modern RPGs use, skill tree things?
Oh, yeah.
Or, when I opened up the skill tree, I thought, I don't really like skill trees. I don't really like that sort of, fixed leveling sort of system. But, with the class-based game, no matter which class you pick, you don't have to stick to that class's, traits or base stats or anything, because the skill tree is shared by every single class. And you can just sort of, as you move, more into the game and buying more and more skill points, you can, branch off into, the like
These
the skill
classes that you aren't part of,
Yeah, you could like make like a ranger that specializes in like heavy attacks, or like a sneaky guy that specializes in like, God, I don't know. It's just like complete freedom.
Yeah.
It's like really.
I do like that in RPGs.
I love the freedom that comes with it, but it, it gives the characters a sense of why even have classes if you got something like that?
I suppose it's something that's kind of put in place because a lot of people would feel very lost without having any guidelines at the start. They'd be like, what do? So having those guidelines in place kind of helps them at the start.
Well, in any case, if you ever get a chance to play Path of Exile, certainly do check them out. pathofexile.com, I think it is.
Do you have an idea when the actual game comes out? So I know it's in beta at the moment. I think it's closed still.
No idea. Probably sometime in the winter, I guess.
I might look it up in a bit. I'll get back to you guys later, and I'll look up when it comes out. But yeah, it looks really good. Well, I have been playing 2 games this week. The first game I've been playing is the last entry to the Xbox Live Arcade Summer of Arcade Delio Festival Fiesta thing. Parible Fiesta. In fact, when do Xbox Live Arcade games come out? Is it Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesdays. Okay,
yeah, so it releases on Wednesday this week. So that will be after this podcast actually goes live, which is Dust and Elysian Tale. And it's probably the most anticipated Xbox Live Arcade game this year. Definitely the most anticipated Summer of Arcade game this year.
Oh yeah, it looks hype. It looks very hype.
Well, originally I was like kind of excited. I was like, oh yeah, this looks really cool, but I wasn't like massively excited. But when I played it, dear God, it's brilliant. It's an absolutely brilliant game. It reminds me of kind of a crossbreed between a kind of Devil May Cry title and something like Castle Crashers. It's got like the kind of charm and RPG leveling system that Castle Crashers does, and then it's got like the over the top, just stupid, crazy, like insanity cool combat system that you get in things like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta. And
Platinum Games, like sort of thing.
Yeah, the combat system is totally like OTT Platinum Games styling.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's so genuinely fun to play. I mean, I was originally put off because all the characters are anthropomorphized animals, but you know.
If you can get over that, then it's cool.
Yeah, if you can get over that, which I kind of did about 20 minutes in, then you really enjoy it, and I really enjoyed it. And it's quite meaty for an Xbox Live Arcade game. I've put nearly 10 hours in now, and I've not yet finished the story, and I've got a ton of side content to do still.
For just an Xbox Live Arcade title, and one that has a sort of Platinum Games style combat system, gosh, it sounds really, in-depth and meaty.
It's really good.
I mean, I'm definitely buying that as soon as it pops out.
Yeah, I think it's one of those games that, I'd recommend that people jump at. I mean, I reviewed it and gave it an 8.3, but that's not really representative of just how good it is, because I'm quite harsh with my scoring.
We're all very harsh with our scoring.
Apart from Michael. But, yeah, it's really one of those standout arcade games this year. And, yeah, buy it, is all I have to say.
Well, especially compared to the rest of them anyway.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's the best Summer of Arcade game by miles.
I was going to go ahead and say this again because I really, really want to. There's a Fuck Racketeer.
Fuck Racketeer and everything it stands for. In fact, funny story. We're going on a bit of a tangent here, but I've got to talk about it because you mentioned Racketeer. Okay, yeah, I was in Game today, the very troubled retailer that got bought out and now it isn't so troubled. Mm-hmm. And I saw Microsoft Points, and next to Microsoft Points, they now have like cards that rather than giving you Microsoft Points, they just give you a downloadable game.
Yeah.
Enough. And I saw a massive shelf full of Racketeer ones, and one of my friends walked over to it and said, "Oh, this looks really good," and was very tempted to buy it.
No.
I had very little more to say on that matter, but dear fucking God.
Oh, well, I think on that high note, we should move on to the news. Anyway,
yeah.
Arkham Asylum series not returning for a third installment. I
believe it was just the writers. I'm not sure. One sec.
Really?
Oh no, yeah, it's just the writers. Oh, there will be another Arkham game.
It's just the writers who wrote the first 2 games. I'm not coming back. I think it was Paul Dini, was it?
Yep, Paul Dini.
Yeah, Paul Dini. I can't interpronunciation.
That's going to be a bit of a loss. I mean, they're pretty well-written games. I'm not particularly fans of them. I didn't play Arkham City, but I played a bit of Arkham Asylum, but they were still pretty excellent games.
I didn't play either. I haven't either of the Arkham games.
Oh, God.
Sorry, on you go.
No, you go.
They're really, really quite good games. You can't really deny that. But, I don't think it's going to take a big hit. I mean, the stories were always serviceable, but they weren't sort of holy shit, this is the best
they weren't the games
I've ever
played
done.
for the story alone.
Yeah, exactly. Especially at City, in City, it was all over the goddamn shop. You were fighting, the Penguin here, Mr. Freeze over there, and, Hugo Strange is just sort of, an ethereal thing above the city in his little tower. And then you've got I can't say the name, Wraith Al Ghul, whatever the name, the dude.
Oh, yeah.
Dead, but he's not. Whatever. Yeah, and you've got about 50,000 different bosses, and so I don't think it's a big deal that they've got a new writer, if I'm perfectly honest, and I don't think it'll be a big deal at all.
Yeah, obviously I haven't played it, but I'd agree with that entirely, because I've never seen the Arkham games, you always see them being praised online, and pretty much everybody I know praises them, but they never really praise them and say, that was a really deep, profound, and meaningful story. They always go, that game plays so well, it's got so much content. And I don't think that the writers being changed, obviously it could take a hit to an extent, because the story might become weaker, but I feel they'll hire people that are more than capable. But I feel what makes the Arkham games good won't be removed by removing the original writer.
I don't see it being a big deal. It might make it slightly worse, but no one will stop buying the games. I mean, that'll still literally sell the same amount of mass as Mars or some shit, because they're so popular.
It's stranger. We're talking about the Arkham games, so obviously that branches into superhero titles, and it's nice to see that even though it's a very select small amount of titles, it's nice to see that we're getting really good quality superhero titles now, because I believe before the Arkham series came out, we didn't really see anything before. Since Spider-Man 2. Yeah, Spider-Man 2.
That's the best superhero game ever made. I've written an article about it before, and it's just the news.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Nah, Silver Surfer on the NES. That shit.
I can't tell if you're saying that ironically or not.
It's terrifyingly shit.
No, guys, Superman 64, best superhero game.
Best game ever!
Fly through my rings.
Fuck God Hand, this is what you turn your fucking consoles off after playing. You never touch another one, sell everything, because you played the best game money can buy.
I want a dark and edgy Superman 64 reboot.
You fly through those rings, Park
My
Kent?
fucking gritty ring.
I just called him Park Kent.
Park Kent.
You even Dean.
Yeah, Clark Kent, you fly through those rings, buddy.
Oh no, you're giving away secret identity, man.
Has anybody actually seen Superman 64?
Yeah, I have actually played it.
Oh God.
And yeah, I wanted to bite my own head off.
I can imagine.
It's very upsetting. I didn't like it at all. I felt like someone was fiddling with me a bit, from behind or something. I was just like,
not in the comfortable way.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, please stop. You're making me very, very upset. Please.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But obviously moving on, we have another news story which I'd imagine a lot of people are happy about, which is the fact that Jet Set Radio, the HD reboot, remix, remake, re-release, whatever you want to call it, has got a release date and price, and it will be coming out on 12th of September for PlayStation Plus subscribers, and the 19th for everyone else on the PlayStation 3. And it will also be coming out on Xbox Live Arcade and Steam on the 19th. And I believe the Vita version comes out on the 19th of October, and it costs £6 on Steam, £6.50 on PSN, and 800 Microsoft points on Xbox.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be pretty nice.
Yeah, Jet Set Radio is a massive cult classic. Everybody loves it.
I've never played the original.
Neither have I.
I played Future. Future was pretty fun, but I've heard it's a lot weaker, and I was never engrossed with it. It was always cool music, really basic gameplay. It was collectathon, and it was cool. So I'm kind of I want to check out what everyone else was so excited about, and I can either call bullshit or agree.
Yeah, I'm thinking the exact same thing. I'm pretty excited to be buying it on Xbox when it comes out. Like, I imagine I'll probably buy it the day it comes out, because it's one of those titles that you hear so much about, and having not played it is really a detriment to yourself as a gamer.
God,
to be honest.
You actually play video games.
What's that? Played a video game? Yeah, have you played it, Sonny?
Actually, was there a Jet Set Radio game on the original Xbox? Because I remember playing a game,
wasn't it?
Yeah. I played Jet Set Radio
Future. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember playing that. Not much, but I remember. I think it came with someone's Xbox, and I played it for a bit, and I don't really remember much from it. But Jet Set Radio, I've actually played it.
So none of us here have actually played the original Jet Set Radio.
Most play Future.
I think it looks. I watched a few videos on it the other day, actually, because I was semi-hype. And I can see where people are coming from the hype, but I'd be interested to see if it has aged as well as people would hope it would.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to buy it, because, like, £6 for, like, a curiosity buy, essentially. I can't go terribly far wrong with that. The music itself will be fine enough, because the music's stunning, especially if, like, I mean, obviously I've had a lot of hands-on time with Future. And that game's music was amazing, so if this has got anywhere near the same quality, then I will
be great.
Incredibly happy.
It's pretty good.
Anything like Funky Dealer, like everyone look. If you've never heard the song Funky Dealer, look that up. Jet Set Future, Funky Dealer, best song in the universe.
Oh man, I'm quite happy about the fact that it's getting released multi-platform around the same time, apart from the Vita though. Yeah. I mean, when it originally got announced, I remember thinking, oh, this is probably going to end up Xbox exclusive. I can't remember what led me to think that, but I'd imagine wasn't Sonic Xbox exclusive, like the Sonic 4? Or am I talking rubbish?
I think it might have been a timed, but I don't think it was ever...
Oh, okay, fair play. But I was under the impression it would either be a timed exclusive or an exclusive for Xbox, and I'm very glad to see that, it's coming out on Steam, it's coming out on Xbox, it's coming out on PSN, all in the same week.
Oh, it's coming out for PS3 if you got Plus for a whole week before everyone else.
Yeah, before anyone.
It's pretty good, really.
I suppose it's a case of, by October, you'll have no excuse to have not played Jet Set Radio.
Yeah.
And we'll have no excuse.
Very moderate price, considering all the other HD remakes seem to be fairly expensive. Most of them are collections, but still. It's pretty good of them to price it at such a really nice price.
Yeah, because it is like a HD version, isn't it?
Mm.
It's not like we're just getting a re-release. We are getting a rather pretty re-release.
Yeah, sorry. Can I give the next piece of news, which is
your favourite?
I have no care about this. I'm perfectly honest. The Gamescom trailer for Lego Lord of the Rings.
Oh yes.
I hate the Lego games. I know, everyone's gonna be mad about that, but fuck them. They're just so boring. It's just like, oh, look, collect some stuff, take part in tedious gameplay sections, and then cry over this terrible game that you spent £40 on.
I wouldn't disagree with you, actually. The only saving grace I really have for the Lego games is the fact that they are genuinely quite funny.
Oh yeah, and I mean, yeah, okay. I played the original one, the Star Wars ones.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one was first. Was it the new trilogy or the old trilogy?
The old trilogy.
Yeah.
No, the new trilogy. Sorry, episode 1, 2, and 3 was the first.
Yeah. Those
I remember watching. I remember playing those. I remember playing the complete saga, and it was pretty fun. But I would never buy it because it's just so floaty and just not fun to play for any length of time other than sort of
very repetitive.
Jumping on your mate's head.
I completed the first Lego Star Wars game about 100%. I loved it that much. Lego Star Wars 2, I didn't really... After the other Lego games came out, like Lego Harry Potter and Lego Indiana Jones, I started to think, this isn't very good. Then Lego Batman, But Lego Lord of the Rings, I was like, maybe this will interest me again. Because they've only recently been... Sorry, I'm going off a bit of a tangent here, but only recently Lego have gotten the rights to do Lord of the Rings toys, which I think is kind of strange that they've already made a game about it.
It's strange when didn't the final film come out in 2006?
Yeah. So why are they bringing out toy lines like now?
I suppose it's coming out soon, so I imagine they just kind of want to go along. I mean, I know it's not the exact same thing, but it's the same.
Oh yes.
I mean, obviously we got Hobbit comes out next year.
They maybe will have Lego The Hobbit as well.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's because Lord of the Rings is kind of one of those like big evergreen things.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what Lord of the Rings is. Everybody sees something Lord of the Rings, like, oh yeah, cool, I remember that. The films were amazing. The books were good. Well, less people remember that the books were good. But
terrible.
You know,
Books were terrible.
I like the books. I don't care. I read them when I was like 10 years old though, so I probably couldn't even read.
I like the books.
You were just like words.
Look at all these words.
Yeah. No, that reminds me of what I used to do in school. In English, I'd pick the biggest book and just be like, look how fucking smart I am.
I'm so clever, look at all these long words. That's more than 8 letters long.
Picking up the dictionary.
That's all I'm going to do in my English degree. Like, just
pretty much.
Pick up the biggest book and be like, yeah.
Aren't I clever? But yeah, the Gamescom trailer. I don't know if anyone's actually watched this Gamescom trailer. Anyone?
No.
I have. I actually have.
Jesus.
And it was genuinely funny at certain points. And to be honest, I agree with Octo to the extent that I didn't play the original Lego Star Wars, but I played Lego Star Wars 2 on the PSP. And I really enjoyed that, and I have never bought and never played another Lego Star Wars since, because I just haven't been interested. But the fact that they've kind of taken maybe a year out, which is surprisingly long for a Lego game, because they seem to release them at least 4 times a year. But, you know, the fact that they've actually taken a bit of time out and they're releasing it on a franchise like The Lord of the Rings, I'm hopeful that they can inject something new into it and make a game that's worth at least renting.
It's a charming series, if nothing else, and that's kind of hard to do with something as dark as the Lord of the Rings films.
Yeah. From the trailer, they have injected like the classic Lego humor into it, and it works really well.
I'm loving that.
I was to go on record and say I have zero interest in this game whatsoever.
You never will.
I got a blackened soul to this kind of stuff. I just don't care.
Anyway, moving on from Gregor's blackened soul. This is actually a piece of news from today, and it's a piece of news I'd imagine myself and Sunny are very excited about, and Greg knows nothing about. And that is during Capcom's Gamescom panel, their big presentation at Gamescom today, they released a new title for Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC called Remember Me, which is due for release May next year. And it looks phenomenal. Watch Dogs tier, phenomenal.
I wouldn't go to say phenomenal, but I think it looks really interesting as a concept. There's been a lot of sort of groundbreaking concepts over this year's like panels and things, like Watch Dogs, and then we've got Remember Me, etc.
Just a bit of background information for Greg. Remember Me is another like futuristic title set in Paris in 2084, and it's kind of, we're not entirely sure if it's open world or not. But it's another game that's kind of, it feels a lot, it looks like, when you're watching it, it looks a lot like Watch Dogs, being honest. But the interesting play they have is, rather than being some kind of futuristic hacker mandem, you're kind of an assassin that steals memories. And obviously you've got a machine on your hand that you can use to take people's memories, you can use to alter people's memories, and you can use to create new ones. And like, obviously you carry out your missions via, like, you steal memories so that you can, say, infiltrate a place, and then you might get this guy to kill, like, as it was shown in a gameplay trailer, you get this guy to kill himself by altering his memories and making him kill his wife so he commits suicide in his memories. So he thinks he's killed his wife and he actually hasn't.
In a really weird way, that's fucking hype.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and it looks luscious, and
I haven't seen it
Day
yet.
Effects crossed with Watch Dogs, and you should definitely watch the trailers for it.
Yeah, like, I only got in, like, a couple of minutes before we started the podcast, and I'm just like, everyone's talking about all these goddamn games, and I'm beyond hype. I need to see
You should see the gameplay trailer here. I've linked it to you just now. Okay. But yeah, this is a Capcom title, and it comes out next year, and you play as a hot white girl, well, not white girl, as a delicious brown girl who don't need no man.
Okay.
And she's very angsty, but she's an amazing-looking main character.
Dan gushing a bit there.
No, she looks so Kuru.
Have you found a new wife?
No, like, watching the trailer, I was like, why is she so angsty, but why is she so cool at the same time? And I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to play this game, I'm so hyped.
All these emotions!
All of these emotions, I'm so hyped.
I wonder when the first crawling in my skin edit's gonna appear. That's going to be a good day for everyone.
It's going to be when she's walking through the tunnel here at 124 in the trailer, which I will link in the video description. She's just going to be crawling in her skin as she's crawling along the pipe.
Oh, jeez.
Crawling in the pipes.
Oh, it looks so good, and it's very nice to see that we're getting like a what looks to be a very big Capcom AAA title being released in May. So it's kind of like in generally the start of a dry season for gaming. We're getting this massive AAA title announced ahead of time. They're like, we're bringing this out in the dry season. Enjoy, boys.
Well, it's nice that Capcom are doing all these new series, considering all their series are kind of terrible now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, name me a non-Street Fighter 4 Capcom series that is good now.
Dogma.
Devil May Cry.
Well, see, I'm still mixed on that. It does look really cool, but it doesn't even look like Capcom anymore. It's totally Ninja Theory. Like, it's their game now, which is cool, because I like Ninja Theory. But, like, I find it hard to call it Capcom's. So, like, so that's gone. Like, in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, it was a pile of shit. Like, one of the worst fighting games I've ever played. And I know everyone in the fighting game community, inverted commas, is going to be mad as hell about me saying that. But, whatever, man. And what else? I mean, they've got Monster Hunter, which is cool, but we never get them, so what does it matter? And, like, when we do, it's 7 years after, and, you know, we don't live in Japan, thus we don't have cafes of everyone playing them, which would be really cool, but...
Yeah, definitely.
But, yeah. Hey-ho, Capcom releasing a new AAA title is awesome.
Colour you interested.
Yeah,
Colour
something
everyone
like,
interested.
I mean, Dragon's Dogma, that was great. Might as well continue this trend of making awesome new stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the standard Capcom title either. It looks like a very far departure from what Capcom usually do, which I like
it looks
to see.
more like a Squeenix game than a Capcom game. It's very
Yeah, I
strange.
believe when you were watching it for the first time, when we were in a call together, you actually said, you know, this is Squeenix, isn't it? but no, it's like a Capcom game that looks like a Squeenix title, and I love that.
Mm.
Obviously, the next story that we've put up is quite a big one, and that is the fact that it's been announced that the BioShock Infinite multiplayer has been axed because there's been a lot of new people joining the team, a lot of people leaving the team, and the studio, I guess, is kind of up in arms at the moment. I mean, departures include design director Jeff McGann,
Not Jeff.
Not Jeff. Producer Joe Folstick. They've got a systems designer gone, a senior level designer, another systems designer, art director, director of production. Everyone's leaving.
That's pretty.
Everyone's leaving.
Does no one like BioShock?
I don't really understand where this is really coming from, because I haven't honestly been following BioShock Infinite news or stories on the studio.
There hasn't been much to follow, really. All we know is that it exists, and it will come out in 2013. That's good.
I just wonder what this has in store for the title, with so many of the staff leaving.
I've always felt that BioShock, and to that extent Irrational, has always been Ken Levine's thing. Like, I feel like, there's a few game studios
it's been his brainchild.
Yeah, like the guy at the top is generally the guy who calls the shots, like, Peter Molyneux, or Peter Molyneux, because it's much easier to say that. His games feel like his games, for better or for worse.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, in stuff like that, Suda games feel like Suda, Kamiya games feel like Kamiya, like you're playing Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, and you're like, this is the same person very clearly. So I feel like it won't hurt too much. It sounds like most of the games are already been finished anyway.
You are right, yeah.
So, like, everything else is kind of being touched up. So, it will be great. There isn't, I really can't see it going wrong. And if it goes wrong, I will flip my shit. I don't see it going wrong at all. And should be fantastic. And this just feels like some sort of, stuff's happened with the company, but it's going to be finished. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll have a few people happy, though, because I believe when the multiplayer features were originally introduced back on BioShock 2, everybody was up in arms. Oh my god, multiplayer, lol, what? And I imagine a lot of those people were complaining about the multiplayer Infinite. So I suppose they'll be happy that they got their way, and they're like, no, we're not doing multiplayer anymore, but it didn't really happen in the best of ways.
Yeah. I can deal with something having multiplayer. Like, BioShock 2, it was a decent enough game. It obviously lacked a lot of BioShock 1 because it was just retreading the same ground. And this, I don't know if this is, like, controversial at all, but but I never found like the Bioshock gameplay that impressive.
I'd agree with you.
It
was
was
the
like,
setting that was more compelling than anything.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But like, when you took the sort of setting you've already done, with your story into, you're kind of left with something a bit hollow.
And when you change the setting entirely, you just lose the whole appeal of the franchise.
Exactly. Like, I mean, Bioshock 1 was amazing because of what it had going for it. And then 2 just kind of went, we're the same game, but we're missing all of the key components that really...
Pretty
so,
much, yeah.
Like, it was a good game, like, sort of like, a standard 7 out of 10 game maybe for Bioshock 2. To a number
I'd
of
agree with you.
to be arbitrary. But, like, just because it missed out on everything. And I still, like, it's still fun doing all those traps and stuff. Like, you just run around placing all these hurricanes on the floor, all that kind of thing, and freezing everything and then smashing it to bits with your wrench. Or your drill, in 2, which, now that is the best thing about Bioshock, the drill.
Yep,
like,
absolutely.
Everyone loves drills in any kind of way. Like, I think drills should be standard for every video game now. Like, I think we should do a Kickstarter for that. Just sort of like drills for...
So instead of it being Year of the Bow like we saw at E3, we should have 2013 Year of the Drill.
Yeah,
exactly. Like,
we'll get us up on Kickstarter.com.
You heard it here first. Parable. We've officially announced that 2013 will be the gaming year of the drill.
Right.
Moving on, we've actually got a few topics that we'd like to discuss today more in depth. Obviously, we've gone over the latest news over the course of the last week just there, but one topic that is very current and kind of very important to the gaming scene, industry, whatever you want to call it, is Gamescom, which is happening as we speak. It's happening over the course of the entirety of this week, maybe through to Sunday or Saturday, I can't really remember. But obviously we're having panels from a few big places and thingamabobs. But yeah, we had Capcom and Sony today. I think those were the only important ones, and we got a few nice announcements. And obviously that's going to continue through the rest of the week. We've got a lot of Black Ops 2 streams coming up, and like some big showcase matches. We've got a Ubisoft panel tomorrow, among others. So guys, what do you think about Gamescom?
Actually, before we start talking entirely about Gamescom, Half-Life 3 appearing on the Gamescom listings. What do you think?
Oh God, I don't want to think.
Yeah, same. It's probably bullshit.
I just don't want to think. It feels like... Was it 100% confirmed that they did show up on the Gamescom listing?
Yeah, they did apparently, but Valve couldn't be reached for comment, and Gamescom couldn't be said, don't trust our listings, which is incredibly slick coming from the... Yeah.
It just feels like the standard old thing we get from Half-Life 3. Oh look, somebody saw Half-Life 3. Half-Life 3 is getting announced. Nothing ever happens.
It's just someone from Valve sneaking to all these companies and just messing with the listings and stuff to just fuck with us.
Yeah, they're just playing with us. That's literally it.
I love Valve for that. That's the best thing they do. Because I'm really excited for Half-Life 3, but I'm not a dickhead about it. I just want it to come out one day. But all these fans are going mental for it. And I'm like, calm down, guys. So I kind of enjoy that it's never going to come out. Because...
Yeah, I suppose.
It's hilarious to watch everyone scratch around.
I mean...
And get mad about it.
Anyway...
But obviously, I suppose, yeah, we'll see if Half-Life 3 comes up at Gamescom. I don't imagine it will, but we'll see. Myself and Sonny just got off watching the Sony conference about an hour or two ago. We didn't watch the Ubisoft conference, but the real standout kicker from that was Remember Me. Which
Capcom, Ubisoft's tomorrow.
Yes, sorry. I got my words muffled.
Get your shit
my bad, I'm sorry. But yeah, I was just going to go through the kind of highlights of the Sony conference so that Greg has an idea, because Greg's going straight into this blind. I think we could do some kind of first impression thing, like, Greg, what do you think of this conference?
Yeah, go for it. Go.
Okay, yeah. They only had 2 new announcements, 2 new titles being... Actually, I'm sure they announced more than 2 titles, but they said they were announcing 2 titles. They showed more footage from PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, and they introduced some new, in quote marks, characters, which were Dante, who I believe we'd already heard about, Sackboy, who was kind of obvious and we'd already heard about. Who else? Was it anyone else?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Is there any new characters?
I don't know. I think I saw the guy from... I think it was Puppeteer in the trailer. I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
Saw some that I didn't recognize.
Anyway, yeah, they introduced 2 new characters that everyone had heard about and just showed a new trailer. Nothing really special, to be honest. They showed a new Last of Us trailer, which didn't have much new footage, but it was absolutely fantastic as always. Last of Us looks brilliant.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely amazing the trailer was. It was kind of just like a montage of things we'd already seen with a few new clips, but it was great. They showed a very small bit about Dust 514, nothing special. And again, Final Fantasy 14, they kind of like were, you know, they do that big Sony trailer at the start of everything they do ever. Like things like Dust and Final Fantasy 14 showed up there. They announced a title called Tearaway, which I believe Octo is especially interested in. So I'll let you talk a bit more about that.
Well, I'm not entirely interested in it as much as you say, but I think it's a very interesting concept because it's one of those games that tries to mix fantasy and reality. It takes full control of all the Vita controls and stuff. Basically, you're a paper person in like a paper environment, and your goal by the end of like probably the story mode or something is to get the character you're playing as, or helping rather, out in the real world. I don't know how they're going to implement that, but the game tries to put you in the game sort of by, like, the way the Vita has like back panels and stuff, like back touch panels. You can like touch the rear of the PS Vita in order to like get rid of enemies and stuff, and you can see your finger, like not your actual finger but a graphic, like poking out through the
your finger pokes through the Vita control.
And then you have to buy a new screen. But yeah, and then you touch the back and the finger pokes through, and yeah, and you can use it to, you know, scale obstacles and stuff, and you can like blow into the mic to cause gusts of wind, you can shout to scare away enemies, and it seems like a really nice concept.
Yeah. It looks lovely as well. It's very Little Big Planet crossed with Paper Mario.
Yeah.
And it's very reminiscent of that graphically. It's got like a very charming art style, I feel. Like, this is going to sound something like very arbitrary that I was really a fan of, but I like the way that the environments kind of pop up. I like the way that it's like a pop-out storybook, essentially.
I think it's going to look fantastic on the Vita.
Yeah, and like you're just kind of walking, and then this like massive, gorgeous environment just pops up around you in paper, and it's just like, wow, this looks lovely.
Yeah, sorry. Did you mention it was Media Molecule?
Yeah, Media Molecule.
Yeah.
By the.
My bad, but I just like I clicked that link you just gave me there, and it looks beautiful.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's obviously a new IP.
Yeah, and I'm definitely like 50 times more interested simply because Media Molecule are on it.
Media Molecule make great stuff.
Media Molecule are actually making another new game as well,
Ooh.
which is a PlayStation Network exclusive title called Rain. Rain is the working title, and it's about a...
Wait, hold on. Was that? I'm pretty sure it was Japan Studio that were making it.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, maybe it is.
Getting everything wrong.
Okay, it's actually blame CVG, because I'm actually reading this as CVG's document, and they posted that Media Molecule was developing Rain, but no, Sunny is right, it's Japan Studio.
Ah.
But yeah, Rain looks quite lovely as well, actually. It's about a boy who is completely invisible, and obviously you can only see him in the rain because you can see the silhouette of him, and it's kind of like an adventure platformer game by what I gathered from it.
Where it looks like a 3D version of Limbo, but with the whole rain gimmick.
Yeah, pretty much.
That does sound nice. It was very nice.
All we got was like a reveal trailer, but it looked really nice. It looked it was an original concept anyway. Yeah. The concept of the fact that your main character is invisible unless you're outside in the rain. So obviously,
wow.
I don't know how that will work in gameplay effectively, but we could see some really bloody interesting things from it, to be honest. And awesome. I'm quite hype about that. Another PSN title, which was also developed by Japan Studio, it is Puppeteer, which Sunny mentioned earlier. Puppeteer is quite simple. You are a small boy who's been transformed into a puppet, and you get transported into like a theatre, kind of a magical theatre, and it's very trippy, to be honest. What would you say about Puppeteer, Sunny?
I'd say it looks weird. As the guy, you can tell it's weird because the guy who was actually explaining the story said before he revealed Puppeteer said, "This is where it gets weird," and he literally spent about 2 whole minutes explaining the really long and convoluted and confusing story, which is just essentially you're a little boy, you get into a puppet, and you have to go and steal a golden pair of scissors from the king of the bears or something. But it looks absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. It looks like a really... I'm sorry I'm using the word trippy again, but it looks like a trippy as fuck platformer. I can't remember the name of the game, but there was a game on one of the old Sega consoles that it reminds me of massively. What was it called?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I'm just going to forget about it. But there was a game on one of the old Sega consoles where you played as like a kind of puppet guy, and it reminded Pandemonium.
Pandemonium! I love that game.
Pandemonium. It reminds me of Pandemonium.
I had the PlayStation version. That was a fantastic game.
Yes, that was a great game.
Yo, I am mad scared by this game's graphical style. Like, I feel threatened.
It does feel very dark.
I think it's genuinely interesting, though.
It does, but... Like, oh man. It reminds me of the first time I played Mickey Mouse in the Castle of Illusion, and I was just very upset by playing it the entire time.
Well, the person said that they were trying to appeal to both younger gamers and older gamers, so...
Yeah. I mean, obviously the younger gamers would be like, oh look, this isn't dark at all.
And the older gamers are going to be shit scared of the bear.
Yeah, the older gamers will be like, oh my god, look at all these dark undertones. This is horrible, I'm scared.
The action scenes look absolutely fantastic, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. It looks great.
It does look damn good, though. I'm watching the trailer right now, and like these graphics are amazing.
Yeah, being honest, Puppeteer is the game from Sony's conference that most interested me, more so than Tearaway, to be honest.
Definitely.
It's not really an announcement actually, but Guerrilla Games showed gameplay and a trailer from Killzone Mercenary, which is the new Killzone game on Vita. There's not much to say. It's a Killzone game, and it's on Vita.
Is it straight up first-person shooter?
Yep.
It makes use of the Vita controls, though. I think it's... I don't know, I got a sort of a stealthy vibe from the trailer.
Yeah. I saw a money system being implemented, so I don't... In fact, what would be interesting is if it was some kind of open-world game. Because I don't understand where a money system would come from unless there was elements of something other than straight-up missions.
Like, you know what would be more interesting? If they actually made it like Liberation again and like make it a decent, unique video game.
Oh, yes.
I guess that's kind of too hard. And
Please.
they have to push the 3D.
Please.
Liberation is the best PSP game.
Absolutely. And another game, actually. One more game. I just want to get this game out of the way. Until Dawn is another move game that was announced. It's by Supermassive Games. And it's a move-controlled horror title that is apparently meant to make use of the move controller to introduce a all-new, quote mark, horror experience. Watching the trailer, it was a bit weird. I originally thought the game was going to be called Love Shack because it started off with some really cheesy romance scene. And I was calling that the game would be called Love Shack as some kind of ironic title. But nope. It was called until...
I'd buy that.
It's based off like the sort of teen slasher film sort of thing, but it's like out in the woods. It's like The Thing crossed with Friday the 13th.
Yeah, pretty much. It kind of looked interesting. Like there were parts where I was like, this game looks like it could be really good. And there were parts I was like, what are they doing? What are they doing?
It'll be a hit and miss title.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it is.
I don't know. Yeah, Supermassive Games haven't really made anything noteworthy yet, so.
No.
Games like this always remind me of Fahrenheit, because I know Fahrenheit's a completely different game to this, but it really interested me how you played as both like the main quote characters and the killer at the same time, and I think that sort of mechanic would work really well in this kind of game. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'd 100% agree.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with move controls, dismembering bodies with the PlayStation Move and stuff.
Yeah, overall, that was all the games that were shown. Obviously, Sony put a lot of effort into the Vita. They showed Black Ops on the Vita. They showed Assassin's Creed on the Vita. And they showed a bit more of crossplay and stuff like that. But that was all that was shown. So, what do you reckon, Greg?
Can I just mention before you state your opinion that Assassin's Creed Liberation has you wrestling crocodiles?
Yeah, it does. Not just wrestling, but wrestling.
Wrestling,
man. It all sounds good. I'm surprised at all the new IP that are flying about. Especially because they all sound really interesting, surprisingly. Even if they don't turn out that good.
Yeah,
it's nice that we're actually having some unique stuff. Yeah, and there's a game coming out for the Vita, so You can get hyped, Dan. You might lift it up.
The fact of the matter is, we're getting a new IP on Vita.
I don't like
get hyped.
2 games on the Vita now.
Yeah, 2 games worth buying.
Like,
I mean, hell, if Assassin's Creed is somehow good, we might have 3 games worth buying on the console.
If I might digress slightly, because we're talking about the Vita, you know the whole crossplay thing Sony are pushing so hard right now?
Yes.
It's almost like they want the Vita to die. Because, like...
Yeah, they kind of do. They're trying to relegate it to, like, an extra PlayStation controller.
Yeah, because I'm like, yo, I want to play Sound Shapes. Oh, wait, I could buy on PS3. I guess I don't even need to think about getting a Vita. Like, the only game for the Vita right now is obviously Gravity Rush.
Absolutely.
I'd buy Wipeout, because Wipeout is always ace. And, like, I would buy probably Uncharted, even though it kind of, like, when I played it, the Vita at an event, just before it came out, it kind of handled like ass. But I'd probably still play Uncharted, and it probably is an okay game.
Yeah. I enjoyed Uncharted on Vita.
Yeah, I just feel like Sony are shooting themselves in the foot with that.
Yeah, I feel that they are too focused on crossplay rather than bringing out a few big Vita IPs. I mean, one or 2 big IPs on the Vita would sell the fucking console.
Yeah,
exactly. Good quality IPs on it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It needs, like, if there was 5 decent quality new IPs on the Vita, I would buy that instantly.
Yeah. I mean, hell, just bring Persona 4 over here. People would lap that up.
Oh, definitely. What with the Arena coming out and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Persona 4 Golden is either already out or about to come out in Japan. Just announce it coming over here.
Oh, hell, just like Monster Hunter titles. Actually localize the, 5 Monster Hunter titles that are only available in Japan.
Yeah, release them as a collector's edition on Vita with added touchscreen and updated graphics in, 2 sets. Everyone would buy them.
If only.
All the RPGs on Vita.
The RPG console.
Yeah, in regards to Gamescom, again, I'm happy with what I've heard. I haven't seen much of it yet, though I saw some screenshots when we were talking there. Some of them look really nice, but I'm looking forward to actually catching up and seeing the trailers. Also, fuck Sony for, screwing up Killzone, because
absolutely
Killzone's a terrible FPS, but amazing. I can't even tell you what Infiltration was. Isometric shooter, I guess. That was so much better, and I'm really annoyed that they scrapped that in the favor of going down their generic path, even though the fact that is no one wants to play an FPS in their hands, because why? Why would you do that?
It's clunky, it's slow, it doesn't look that
it's like playing Street Fighter 4 on the 3DS. It's just pointless.
One more thing I'd like to bring up from Gamescom. I'll get size from Octo. Greg might be a bit interested, and everyone else will be like, why? Yeah, there's 4 days of Black Ops 2 streams, and I'm really hyped. Well, today, obviously, a lot of gameplay has been going up from Black Ops 2, full matches, and a lot of gameplay clips, and we've been getting a lot of reveals. I mean, things have been revealed that you can live stream direct off Black Ops 2 from your Xbox, to Twitch TV, Justin TV, whatever you want. Things like full perk list, full weapons lists, the fact that there's 55 levels, 10 prestiges, like on COD 4, a lot, everything's being revealed over the next few days. We're getting a big live stream later this week, which will show some current professional COD teams playing against each other in multi-team team deathmatch, among other things. So we'll be showcasing new modes and shit like that. And I think it's really hype for especially the competitive community and less so the public community, because we get to see the new modes like King of the Hill, which was announced today, and multi-team team deathmatch, which was announced with the original trailer, being used in a competitive rule set. And it's the first time since COD XP that competitive COD has been mainstream, to be honest. So yeah, I'm hype.
Well, that was absolutely enthralling.
I'm just looking forward to shooting people with guns. Yeah. It's gonna be hype.
I can't wait to find out the strongest weapon and find all the statistics and then divide the statistics by 2 in order to get the best perk regime and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone knows no one actually plays COD for fun. They play the first day using random stuff, and then the second
and then they cry every day afterwards.
Yeah, the second day you look up online and see what guns
you find what's the most cuntish class you can. And you put it together, and then you make people cry. And if they do it to you, you cry. That's what COD is.
Yay.
Anyway, before we
move
before we move on from Gamescom, does anyone want to talk about the Wonder Book, or is that a
no? Nobody talks about the Wonder Book. apart from one thing, Walking with Dinosaurs Wonderbook, you get to feed Triceratops.
You get to feed Triceratops.
It's amazing. There's a Walking with Dinosaurs game for the Wonderbook.
Yeah, that's also by Supermassive Games, isn't it?
Maybe. Don't know.
Pretty
Yeah,
sure
they
it
have
is, because
been
I'm looking
looking at
here right now on Supermassive Games website, and they've got Walking with Dinosaurs on PS3. So,
But all I have to say on the matter is, you can feed the Triceratops, man. You can feed the dinosaurs.
wow.
I'm buying
To
all.
buy.
Yeah.
You're buying...
Anyway.
You're buying a book in real life that doesn't work in real life so that you can put it into the fucking computer.
No, I'm buying a book in real life that doesn't work in real life so I can feed the dinosaurs.
Fucker.
Anyway, moving on from Wonderbook and all of its absolutely wonderful features, Darksiders 2 comes out in a week, I think, exactly. And I know that Greg loved the original. So,
I wouldn't quite say loved. I did enjoy it a lot. And I don't actually believe this, but I'm going to just say it, that it's better than Zelda. Because I know how much Michael would hate me. So, yeah, it's better than Zelda. That's on the record. No, like, Darksiders 1 felt really cool. Like, it nailed most things. Like, the setting was cool. I kind of dig the chunky World of Warcraft graphics. I mean...
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Like, it's just chunky. It felt nice to look at, and it was all simplistic, rounded edges kind of stuff, and it looked nice. The bosses were quite big and fun, and the dungeons were kind of weird. They weren't, like, clear-cut, like, in Zelda, when you're going into, like, a dungeon. In Darksiders, you kind of just, like, stumbled into them, and you were like, am I in a dungeon? Oh, well, maybe. And then, yeah, that was all really cool. The story was terrible, but whatever.
So what do you reckon of Darksiders 2?
That was the way you get onto the combat of Darksiders 1, and which is the main reason I'm so excited about 2.
Oh, fair.
Is because Darksiders 1 combat was good, but it felt kind of like, it was weird, basically. It was too clunky to be sort of anywhere near, Devil May Cry or anything like that, because the dodge and the block and everything just never worked that much, and you always felt like you were way too slow, and it was never... there was too many combos and stuff to ever be simple as sort of something like Zelda. And there wasn't enough of a focus on puzzles to be something like Zelda. So it kind of was like this awkward...
mishmash between genres.
Yeah, so I feel like... I don't know if you've seen any Darksiders 2 footage.
Very little.
But Death looks faster, essentially, and a lot more fun to play. So I feel like they can get over that hurdle by just making them faster and, like, making fights a lot quicker and more fun. In comparison to sort of this really chunky, slamming a massive sword around.
So basically, what you imagine Darksiders 2 to be is Darksiders 1 without the massive flaws in. Well, in which case, it'll be a really pretty good game.
Yeah, like slightly longer, more RPG elements, and better combat. That would be perfect.
Yeah, I obviously haven't really played much Darksiders, but I think it's kind of got a cult following now. Like, it's one of those games that you hear very mixed opinions of. You hear a lot of people say it's very average, and you hear other people saying, oh yeah, this game's absolutely brilliant. Oh yeah, this is such a good game. I can't wait for the second one.
Really? I don't imagine it's a game with, a big cult following. I haven't really heard much about the game apart from, I haven't played the game myself, but I have a friend who played it and he says it's absolutely dreadful. So
I've heard a lot of people like very devoted.
Yeah, I have heard a lot of people start talking about it, surprisingly.
Yeah.
It's sort of like it sneaked out and everyone really liked it. Which is really annoying, because I think I don't know, but I think it outsold Bayonetta, which is, a sticking point for me. But
yeah, Bayonetta being one of your favorite games.
Well, he's the best game of all time, so it's fine. But yeah, it came out, and it's just it was such an easy game to play. It's it's really easy to get into because it's so simple. And, you never felt tested by the game. Like I died 5 times. And
I suppose it's just one of those, for want of a better term, it's one of those just pure fun romps.
Yeah, you run through it, you do, but you're never excited that much. You're just kind of like, this is cool. I'm enjoying this. Oh, I've killed the thing. Cool. That was fun. And then you find a horse and it's on fire and it's cool.
So that's Darksiders, everyone.
Exactly. Horses on fire in the sand. Cool.
Good.
And like I say, the bosses were still really awesome and just really big and chunky. I keep using the word chunky because I feel like that really sums up the game in every way. Graphics and visuals are chunky, combat is chunky and clunky, all these C's, and all this other kind of stuff. Yeah, I like the Look at Darksiders 2, and I want to get that up. Like, I want to get on that as soon as I possibly can.
Yeah, so for anyone who's interested, Darksiders 2 releases next week. Releases in 7 days from now, which is the 14th, so if you're interested, you should definitely look into it further, because it looks like it could be it looks like it could be one of those games that really starts off gaming season this year.
Yeah, definitely.
Alongside Sleeping Dogs, not Watch Dogs. Because
it opens the floodgates to the winter season.
Yeah, and you always need a game to do that, and I think that late August, early September is the time that you want to be picking up that first game.
Yeah, so it's like this year's Deus Ex, almost.
Pretty much. Moving on, this is a topic that would be especially personal to myself and Greg, which is Insomnia 46, which happens 23rd to 27th, and myself and Gregor will be attending the 24th to the 27th. Gregor, are you hype?
That's going to be amazing. It's like my first ever event, and I'm just going to be like running around like a little girl in a doll shop, just being like, oh my god, what is all this? Look at all these things. And I'll just play Street Fighter forever, and I'll win the Street Fighter tournament, I'll win the Skullgirls tournament, and I'll win lots of money, and get an arcade stick, obviously. And I'm drunk in a bath. And
on record, Gregor's going to win all of the fighting games.
Yeah, exactly. I might even go into call and win that. Depends how I feel.
Depends if you feel like it on the day.
I mean, like, do I want anyone else to win? Maybe.
Yeah, no, you might feel like being nice, you know.
I'll just throw the mats. I'll just run around in circles, pretending like I don't know how to play the game or something.
Oh yeah, pretend. Yeah,
exactly.
Hustle.
But Parable will be doing a lot of coverage for I-46, so obviously you should check out our site at www.parablegames.net and our various social media outlets that you can find on the site, and we'll be doing coverage and we're doing a lot of content on the event. I'm especially looking forward to actually viewing some of the big competitions over the course of the weekend. There's obviously a big Call of Duty tournament, and me being a Call of Duty competitive player, I'll be eagerly watching that, possibly competing in that. Greg will be playing in the Street Fighter and Skullgirls tournaments, and hopefully beating somebody. And there's a lot of tournaments going on. I mean, hell, there's even a Minecraft tournament going on.
Oof.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, it's not just about like competing. It's just about like kind of playing. They've got a lot of shit on. I mean, I know that one thing they do that I don't think you know, Greg, is they do like a raffle every year. Like, you can buy raffle tickets, but the raffle is, like, amazing prizes. It's like they sell, like, top-of-the-line computer parts, computers, video games, and stuff that's donated by all their sponsors and partners.
Oh, okay, and so it's not quite like down your village church.
Yeah, it's not like... It's like a proper high-grade I-40.
Yeah, there's like some matey bubble bath, if you will, kind of thing.
It's like these prizes are like 50 quid each. I'll be going on that and hoping I can win all of the prizes.
Oh, definitely. I'll definitely do that as well then.
But obviously they've got a lot of partner booths and stuff like that, and we're really hyped for I-46. We just wanted to let you know about it and kind of remind you that it's happening, we're going, and we're going to be bringing you a lot of stuff to it.
Oh yeah, it's going to be at least a week's worth of content we're going to be putting out. It's going to be a lot of stuff, and we might just stagger release and just sort of get everything out to you over the course of the week afterwards, because it looks like one of the most exciting events ever, and it'll be my first, as I say, compared to, like, anything to do with competitive gaming. I'll use my first look at it, so I'm really excited about that. And getting my ass handed to me.
One last thing I want to talk about just quickly today is something especially for Sonny and Greg, and that is Persona 4 Arena, which is in limbo.
Best game ever. Like, it's going to be fantastic. It's Arc System Works, it's Persona, and yeah. But no, Arc System Works make it, don't they?
Don't they? I thought it was Atlas who...
I'm pretty sure Atlas published it, but it's definitely Arc System Works who are making the gameplay. Because it's definitely, like, I remember, like, that's why I was so hyped for it. It's because I know they were making it. Obviously, they make Blaze Blue. So I need to see that shit in action. And I've been catching a few live streams for it.
Oh yeah.
It just looks so perfect. Like, I'm going to gush. I know, like, I don't even care. But it's beautiful in every single way. It's like, oh wow, such a beautiful game. And like, the combos all look insane as well. Especially the fact that, like, the last challenge of every, like, character is just like hit a 999 hit combo or some nonsense. It doesn't even tell you how to. It just goes, go, try it. So yeah.
Do your best.
Yeah, it's like, it looks really, really fun, and I can't wait to buy it when it eventually comes out over here.
Yeah, which is a bit annoying because I believe it's already out in America.
Yeah.
They haven't even announced the release date for Europe.
Yeah, like I'm deeply considering like importing on PS3 just because I need it that much.
Are the copies region locked? They can't be, can't they?
Xbox, all titles are region locked. PlayStation, I don't think titles are region locked at all. So you should be able to import a PlayStation version easily enough.
Totally
Yeah,
important.
definitely. Yeah, I've got American copies of PlayStation 3 games, so unless they've changed anything.
No, I don't think they have. I mean, surprisingly, I'm really interested in Persona 4 Arena, mainly because I'm a massive weebo, but secondly because I'm trying to get into fighting games via BlazBlue. I'm terrible at it, but trying to get into it, you know.
I was happy I can beat you or something.
Yeah, it's something that Persona 4 Arena is kind of the fighting game I'm looking forward to besides Chrono Phantasma. So, yeah, I'll be playing that shit.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I think we should really leave talking in Persona in more depth to another time because we're currently running at an hour. I mean, it went pretty quick. We talked about Gamescom for about 20 minutes.
There was a lot there, so.
Yeah, it was a lot to talk about because there was there was surprisingly big conferences. We weren't actually expecting so many things to talk about in regards to Gamescom. So, we're going to call it a day here. We hope you enjoyed the podcast, and obviously if you've got any feedback, any criticisms, some kind of help or anything or love or whatever you want, just, leave it in a comment, leave it on the site. We'll probably reply to you actually. Any kind of feedback is appreciated, basically. Yeah, please respond, please. Apart from that, obviously any support, like spreading it, showing it to your friends if you actually enjoyed it, that would be amazing. We love you. Yeah, I've been Dan, and this is Greg and Sunny.
Hello. Goodbye.
Do you two have any?
Hello, I'm away now. Goodbye.
Do you two have anything to say?
Bye. Yeah, basically, look out for I-46 content because it's going to be massively high quality and it's going to be hype as hell. You will see my enthusiasm burst through the screen, I promise you. So yeah, look forward to that. And goodbye.
Sunny?
Can I just say Toho, because a friend wanted me to say it.
Okay, so on that note, I-46, please respond, and Toho. We have been the ParableCast, and that was the end of episode 4. We hope you enjoyed.